Mark Zuckerberg has been talking a lot of shit lately, saying how the metaverse is going to be the standard for how we work and how we live our personal lives. It's all very aspirational for a company that just laid off 10,000 people. The metaverse itself has been a mixed bag of cat shit with billions of dollars poured into something that looks like RuneScape on maximum settings. From what I read online, a lot of Meta employees are basically being told to use the metaverse for a certain amount of hours per week. Otherwise, they get a taste of Mark's new MMA skills. But is the metaverse all bad? I decided to borrow an Oculus Quest headset from a richer friend and try it out for myself to really see if it's even worth the hype. Here's how it went. Let's try the VR chat. Let's see what kind of life forms are hanging out on here.
Do you like coleslaw?
I do. How did you know that?
Get the fuck out my bag.
This is a glitch in the Matrix right here. When you see this cat, you know Agent Smith is coming.
Yo, bitch!
This is a nice throwback to the old Call of Duty lobby.
You're fucking ugly. Can I kiss you, bro? I'm gay, bro. Yo, are you okay, man?
I feel like I'm on like 10 grams of mushrooms right now.
I'm a saucy baka.
Okay, I like that. This is great. This feels like a study group from community college.
Shut up, bitch. That's a busted ass Michael Jackson.
Oh my god. Try to do a handshake? Alright.
I'll hit you with a different pose if you want to shut your face. You better cut it out. Yeah. You better cut it out. Yeah. This is a fever fucking dream.
This is.
Run, nigga.
Yeah, that is creepy as fuck.
Don't turn back, bro.
This is like a pure Rick and Morty character right here.
I just wanted to say that I figured out how my microphone works and I don't like your face, man. Alright guys, look, I have a dance. No, don't touch me there. No, my no square. I might need to puke.
I'm with you. Are there any Meta employees here? I thought not. Okay, so that last thing I did was called VR chat, which from what I read on the internet is the more fun part of the metaverse. It's a little more zany, it's apparently less moderated, but now that I've done that other world, I want to try the one that Mark Zuckerberg has been showing off. It's built by Meta. It's called Horizon Worlds. The Horizon Worlds one is more PG, it's like more mainstream, advertiser friendly. You're not gonna see any characters out of your nightmares, which some people don't like. Some people think you should be able to customize your character. They see the VR experience as being able to escape from your own life and be whatever you want to be online, be whatever identity you want. And maybe this all sucks and no one's ever gonna do VR. Or maybe it's exactly what we were promised.
And if you didn't vote for Donald Trump, shame on you.
I'm talking about my cat with my ex-boyfriend.
So, what else is there to do out here?
Warning. Perimeter has been breached.
That's a nice AI voice. Have you done any voice acting? I kind of see what people mean. The Horizon one just seems like every awkward networking event I've ever been to.
That was a great time to join this combo.
Yeah, we're just talking about our lives going downhill. Yeah. People were nice. I mean, there was only one unruly child.
I know the house rules. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Not like a million, like in the other place. It seems like a place people go to just share their thoughts and talk.
I fell in love with dolphins ever since like Echo on like the Nintendo.
The whole thing just kind of felt awkward.
You're actually really annoying, fucking annoying me.
A circle.
Seriously.
Like people are just hawking at other people.
If the moon is very similar to the Earth, in
No, it
regards to
really
shape,
is. Like, if you don't believe
explain.
Maybe I'm just not made for in-person events and VR events. It's definitely a more civil world, so if you don't want to be called gay 100 times, you should try the Horizon one instead of the VR chat one.
I was called a Karen. These kids just call everyone a Karen.
Overall, yeah, I don't know who this is for. It's not really for me. I just don't feel comfortable in it. The headsets cost a lot of money. They hurt my eyes. The actual experiences within the worlds are mediocre at best.
You're kind of like in stop motion
Like
animation.
glitching around, right. I would probably have to spend more time in it, but I just can't bring myself to do it. If you love awkward small talk at events where you don't know anybody, you may love Horizon Worlds. I just can't. Let's talk about kind of the metaverse as a whole and where it's headed. I don't know if maybe when Mark puts the headset on, he just doesn't feel anything, like he doesn't feel any sensations in his eyes, he doesn't get headaches. Does his body even use water? I don't know. For me personally, after like 45 minutes in the metaverse, my eyeballs were already on fire. So I don't know how the expectation is gonna be that ordinary people are gonna spend hours of their time every week in this kind of excruciating VR world. The metaverse itself as a world can't just be controlled by one mega corporation. It's just not gonna work. If the metaverse was in a movie, it would be obvious to the audience that it's like a shadow organization run with dubious intentions. But because it was created by this very public, real-life guy, we're all supposed to pretend like it's not the VR version of a kindergarten. When I was 6 years old, Nintendo came out with this thing called the Virtual Boy, which was a VR headset way ahead of its time. VR technology has obviously gotten a lot better, but not to the point where you can spend hours and hours of work meetings in VR. And it feels kind of cruel for a billionaire to force people to do that. Most people at Meta want to keep working there so that they can make their mortgage payments. So what ends up happening is they just agree with everything he says. Most of the interest in the metaverse is actually driven by investors and brands that have a vested interest in the metaverse. And of course by media outlets that want to write about the metaverse to generate clicks. But the average person, they just want to come home from work and watch a TV show or go on TikTok. We've seen this happen before with companies like Quibi. A guy with a god complex pumped billions of dollars into it, and that still didn't make millions of people want to pay for it. You have to give people something they actually want, or at least convince them they want it, like the old advertising grifters used to do back in the day. The metaverse isn't desired by anyone, nor has it convinced anyone to want it. It's like a multi-billion-dollar arts and crafts project. The other thing is, people are burnt out on like 2 years of COVID lockdowns. And the last thing they want to do after spending all this time indoors is plug into a virtual world that's just as shitty as the world they were just trapped in. I know the promise is that the VR world is better, but once you see it, you realize, it just gets stale like anything else. The impression I get is when you're a billionaire, you completely detach from like what the average normie working person wants. And so ideally, if you're a billionaire, you hire normal folk. They're kind of like your little minions that relay what the average peasant thinks about. But I think in the case of the metaverse, it's one guy deciding he knows what you want, and he's willing to bankrupt his whole company to try to get it to you. I'm sure there are rational people at Meta who kind of want to innovate and actually build things people want. The Instagram Notes feature is not one of those things. But those people probably don't want to speak up and rock the boat. If you don't believe me, just open up LinkedIn and just look at how many people employed by large tech companies will never ever question anything these companies do. Almost like they're afraid of getting whacked. Okay, so maybe that is a little bit sad and you do need some hope to keep on living. I think an alternative to the metaverse could still be small communities online. Platforms like Discord and Patreon let you build up your own tribe of people that are into the same things as you are without it being all part of a giant digital room where millions of people are screaming all at once. If anything, what Snapchat and Google has done in the past, which is AR, augmented reality, I think is more of a step in the right direction because it is a mix of both worlds. And I think it's amazing that we can hang out on this digital platform here on YouTube and feel like we're connecting to other people. But would we need to do that in a simulated virtual world? Anyway, my final verdict, I don't think the metaverse is going to be a colossal hit or an instant failure. It's going to just limp along until a better thing appears on the market, or it just runs out of money. And if Mark Zuckerberg has to put every Meta engineer in a chokehold to do that, he might, and probably will. That's it. If you found this video interesting or helpful, hit like, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you next time.
The most unfortunate thing about this is that my mother loves dolphins too.